Hey guys, Morgan from Rebellious Reading, where we talk about all things book related. So, March is coming up, so I figured I'd do one of these TBR videos. And since I'm participating in 2 readathons, my March schedule is going to be quite busy. So, the 2 readathons I'm participating in are the Spring into Reading-a-thon, hosted by 3 people, one of whom is Caitlyn, simply me, who I'm subscribed to. And I'm also going to be participating in the GreekGodAThon, hosted by like 14 different people. The only one I know off the top of my head is the Lit Review, but I'll have everyone linked in the description. But anyway, these are all the books I have to read for those 2 readathons. Spring into Reading-a-thon only lasts 1 week, and I have to read 4 books for that. Plus, I have to order a book for that, even though I don't have to read it, because some of the prompts on the bingo card for that one are just buy a new book, take a day to yourself, and I can get a bingo just by buying a book and not reading it. But anyway, time to start showing off these books. Starting with the GreekGodAthon, since it has the most of books. The first prompt for this readathon is Apollo, which is the team that I'm on. I'm Team Apollo, which means I'm also Team Control. And for Apollo, I have to read a book that makes me happy. And the Chronicles of Narnia series really makes me happy. I read them when I was younger, and they always take me back to this warm, nostalgic place. So, yeah. That's what I'm reading for Apollo. And then, for Athena, I have to read a book that I was planning on reading in 2022. For that, I'm going to read The Invisible Man, since I already had it planned for the other readathon. I'll explain that later. And for Demeter, I have to read a book with nature on the cover, so I'm going to read another book in the Chronicles of Narnia series, aka the first one, that being The Magician's Nephew. And then, for Dionysus, I have to read a guilty pleasure book. And for that, I'm gonna read That Was Then, This Is Now by S.E. Hinton. This one I also read when I was in high school, and let's just say that while I enjoyed it a lot because it's S.E. Hinton, I will admit some of the political implications sprinkled throughout are a bit dated. So yeah, guilty pleasure. For Hera, I have to read a book with a strong female protagonist, and for that, I'm gonna read the 39 Clues. This actually has 2 protagonists, but one of them is a girl named Amy, and she's pretty tough, even though she doesn't come across that way at first. And then, for Hermes, I have to read a short book, and for that I'm going to read Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. This is a novella. And then, for Hestia, the final one on Team Control, I have to read The Extraordinaries by T.J. Klune, since it's a cozy / heartwarming book. I hear it's pretty funny too. And then, for the ones that aren't on my team, I can get 3 points from those, 5 points from the ones who are on my team, and 10 points for reading the Apollo book because I'm on Team Apollo. But for the ones who aren't on my team, Aphrodite is gonna get The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, since I have to read a romance for that one. For Aries, I have to read a book with a war, so another Chronicles of Narnia book, the most famous of the bunch, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And then for Artemis, I have to read a highly anticipated book, and I'm going to be reading Looking for Alaska for that. And then for Hades, I have to read a book with the undead in it. And Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone has some ghosts in it. And I figured that would work, even though they're not the central focus. And if you were wondering why this book doesn't have its dust jacket on, it's because I had a weird thing against dust jackets when I was 12. Don't ask me why, I don't know. But anyway, for Hephaestus, I have to read a sequel, and for that I'm reading more Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. For Poseidon, I have to read a book with a water theme, more Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And finally, for Zeus, I have to read a cover by, and for that, Final Girls by Riley Sager. He has some of my favorite covers. Anyway, now we move on to the other readathon, that being Spring into Reading-a-thon. Now, I'm taking a path where I go from left to right, and it's near the bottom of the bingo card. The first prompt is going to be Over the Rainbow, which is read a classic or a fairy tale. And for that, I'm going to be reading The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells, since I already picked it for another readathon. And I also have to read a book with travel or vacation, and for that, I'm going to read The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. And then there's Get Yourself a New Book, which for that I'm just going to get myself a new book. I haven't decided yet. And then I have to read one of Kaylani's favorite books / authors. Kaylani's one of the people hosting this readathon. And I think one of her favorite authors is T.J. Klune, so The Extraordinaries can work for that. And then I have to read a book with a strong female character, and for that I'm going to read Looking for Alaska. So I was able to fit all of my prompts for the Spring into Reading-a-thon into the GreekGodAthon. And this is my massive stack of books that I have to read. I hope you can see that okay. But, oh god, they're falling all over the floor. Anyway, that's my TBR. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, both to this channel and to my music channel if you think that sounds interesting. I'm Morgan from Rebellious Reading, and I'm out.